when stuff like this happen, I just say to myself, oh, another shooting again. It becomes a normal thing.
That man was shot over the weekend when a gunman randomly opened fire at people on the highway. We'll hear from loved ones and what lawmakers are doing to try and stop these tragedies.
You can't ask for much more out of the weather this Labor Day weekend, but we're still seeing 90s in our forecast for this work week.
A local group says they're seeing more of these Lime scooters not on our sidewalks but in our rivers. We're comparing how this year's numbers compare to last. Good evening. It's good to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. Mark and Jane are off tonight. Lime bikes and scooters seem like they've been a hit this year, but all of them haven't stayed on sidewalks in Spokane. One metal fishing group has found several of them in the Spokane River. KREM 2's Shayna Waldtower tells us how they're working to pull them from the water.
Yeah, we've got a road sign, chains, some old tire rims here, all things that have been pulled out of the river, but most recently, a Lime scooter, things you probably wouldn't expect to find floating at the bottom of the river. And not just a few, but 16 of the scooters and one bike.
I was magnet fishing down by the lower power plant, and I saw the Lime scooter down there, and we went down there to get it.
That's how many this metal fishing group has found in the river this year, just since the scooters came back in the spring. This group, called H2O Magnet Fortunes, pulls metal out of the river all the time.
Part of the river recovery that we found, so we've been using it to pick stuff up out of the river.
But scooters and bikes aren't the antique treasures they like to find.
They run on lithium-ion batteries, you know, and that can't be good for the water. I know lithium isn't good for the water, so.
Here's video of them pulling the most recent scooter from the Post Street Bridge.
I was wondering which one it was.
Last year, the group pulled out just one or two out of the river, but now they're working directly with Lime to get them from the river and return them to the company. Now that they're looking for them, there hasn't been a shortage of the bright green rides sinking in the rushing water.
Seeing them in the river is an eyesore.
And it's a huge problem for Lime right now. Huge problem. We're just lucky enough that we're on top of it.
It's a benefit for the general public and for Lime, but for the group, it seems to bring an even bigger benefit.
Makes me feel like I'm, you know, doing something positive for the benefit of everybody. You know, maybe the younger generations can enjoy the waterways.
In Spokane, Shayna Waldtower, KREM 2 News.
Thanks so much, Shayna. A local firefighter is recovering today after he was injured fighting the Spring Coulee fire. That fire broke out last night in Okanogan County. Authorities say he's currently in a medical-induced coma, and he has second-degree burns over more than half of his body. According to authorities, the firefighter was treated on scene for injuries before being airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. That fire broke out southwest of Omak. It burned roughly 150 acres before it was contained. Fire crews are still investigating the cause of that fire.
Out of everybody, her, it didn't deserve to happen to her. She was so kind, and she was just a loving person to everyone.
That's a friend of a teen who was killed over the weekend when a gunman randomly started shooting people. Tonight we're learning more about what happened before the deadly rampage. Police in Odessa, Texas now say the gunman was fired from his job just hours before the shootings. The suspect, as well as the company, also called 911 over the firing disagreement. Authorities say they didn't know about the call before they pulled over the gunman for a traffic violation. The gunman then opened fire and led police on a high-speed chase while randomly shooting at other people. 7 people were killed and 20 others were injured.
I did my best to go help her, but I couldn't get there on time.
Did she ever say anything to you after you heard the screaming?
I did, because she was already dead.
Wow, hard to hear. Law enforcement officers eventually killed the gunman. Federal agents are still looking for a motive. And here's a list of the victims who died in the shooting. They include a postal worker, a father of 2, and a veteran who served in Afghanistan. And among the injured include a 17-month-old girl who is recovering in the hospital right now. Meanwhile, over in Capitol Hill, Congress gets back to work next week with gun safety measures at the top of the agenda. In the wake of the Odessa shooting, President Trump says something has to be done. He hasn't specified what type of legislation he would support, but he's already backed off previous calls to toughen background checks.
You look at the last 4 or 5, going back even 5 or 6 or 7 years, for the most part, as strong as you make your background checks, they would not have stopped any of it.
House Democrats are working on several bills to be considered when Congress gets back to work next week. They include a bill to ban high-capacity magazines, a bill to support red flag laws, and a bill to prevent people convicted of misdemeanor hate crimes from owning guns. The White House says it's still in talks with Republicans and Democrats on different gun safety laws. Well, Labor Day may be the unofficial end of summer, but the real last day isn't actually for a few more weeks, so you can expect these warm days to continue for a little bit longer. A good way to start off the school year, at least. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is tracking those conditions. Hi, Thomas.
Hey there, Tim. Just a little bit longer on that summer heat. So not just this weekend, but the first few days of the work week ahead. We'll easily see some 80s and still 90s later on the forecast, but today is about as perfect as it comes. 82 right now in Spokane. Even that is above average. Our average should be upper 70s or so this time of year, so slightly warmer, but very enjoyable with nothing but sunshine for the rest of the afternoon hours. Clear skies tonight with temperatures down into the mid-50s first thing tomorrow morning. So as mentioned, still plenty warm for the week ahead. We will see 90s at times for the first half of the week, but then some showers and even thunderstorms will come to cool us off at least just a little bit, and there are some early indications that we could see as much as say an inch of rain over the next 7 days combined. So not just the end of some hot weather, but perhaps the beginning of the wetter season to come here. So we'll detail day by day what are the best chances for rain in your town, all coming up in just a few minutes.
Thomas, thank you. We love hearing stories like this. Olive Garden saying a big thanks to first responders in the inland Northwest. The restaurant provided 2 local fire stations free lunch today. Olive Garden actually does this every year on Labor Day. Since 2002, the restaurant chain has delivered more than tens of thousands of meals to first responders.
My brother's actually a paramedic firefighter in Texas, so I feel at home when I walk in there because I'm kind of used to the picture, and it's great to be able to do a small service for a thankless job.
So this year, Spokane fire stations in North Spokane and Newman Lake were chosen. First responders got to enjoy meals like fettuccine alfredo and other Olive Garden favorites, and probably some breadsticks. All right, so today we saw many people outside enjoying the last few moments of summer, and many of us are going back to work tomorrow. And of course, for the kiddos, they're going back to school. Our photojournalist Dave Sommers went out today to find out how people are spending the unofficial end of summer.
How was your summer?
Amazing, man.
Wonderful.
My summer's been pretty amazing, man. Pretty amazing. Just spending time with family.
Cash my check, clean my truck, put on my hat, forgot about work.
It was pretty good. We haven't done a whole lot just because we got the 2 kids and we work all the time, but it's been really good weather.
Awesome. It's been good.
We're not on summer vacation anymore. We're back in school.
My summer's been excellent. It's been a beautiful summer. I'm based in Alaska, but I'm down in Spokane playing shows, and I'm on my way. I got 16 more states before I go home.
It was hot, and then it was pretty cool the other day when it rained, and I'm sorry, it's almost over.
What's been the highlight of the summer?
Disney World and pig out in the park. And I'm expecting a child.
So far, this has been the highlight of my summer.
LA day. Having an LA day. That was a good one.
Probably either going to the lake, or I went down to Portland to go hang out with some family and just check it out. So that was pretty fun.
Emotion with all your emotions now. Trust me, I ain't carrying your strife.
It's definitely been a wonderful summer so far, and we've been swimming a lot. Not like last year where we didn't get to swim very much at all because it was just either too hot or too cold, you know?
Hi!
How was your summer?
Delicious. It was awesome.
What was your favorite part of the summer?
It was going zip lining. Going to Silverwood. Save the turtles!
We've enjoyed it, and this is just a nice way to end it.
First time here, but it's amazing. I really enjoyed myself. A lot of food, a lot of great music as well.
Swing down, cherry, stop and let me ride. Swing down, cherry, stop and let me ride.